Kapkan is arguably one of the best operators in Rainbow Six Siege right now, giving you free kills and free wins. So in this video, I'm going to be going over even more of the best Kapkan spots for every map in Rainbow Six Siege. If you missed part 1, I'll leave it linked in the description and at the end of the video. But without wasting too much of your time, let's jump straight into it. So the very first map we're going to be having a look at today is the brand new one. We have Lair. Now this is still a map that a lot of people are confused about. They don't know it yet. They don't know the layout. So we're going to try our best just to put down a few Kapkans that will hopefully get you some kills when you play on this map. Now the first bomb site we're going to have a look at here comes in Master, and this wall here is a crucial wall for this bomb site, and it's actually pretty easy for the attackers to get through because there's an exterior doorway up here that no defender really wants to be guarding. So if you come over here and stick 2 Kapkan traps on this doorway at the start of the round, if you could stay undetected as well when you're doing this so you don't get droned out or anything, this is going to guarantee you kills on Lair. I guarantee you these 2 Kapkans here, you can even put 3 if you want. That way, if they have a 3 armor operator, it will kill them instantly as well, and they won't get a res off. But when they come around here and try and open up this main wall, you will at least get 1 kill. With your remaining 3 or 2, you can really experiment with it. I found a lot of people rush through here, so if you put 1 or 2 in this corner down here as well, that one works quite well. Another thing I see a few hard breachers try and do is open up the walls in the server room as well, so you can hide some in here if you want. And where Lair is a reasonably big map, you really have a lot of room to experiment with this. I have a feeling putting them on this doorway, it's just going to be a pretty obvious one for attackers to look out for. So if you do get a kill or have had Kapkans go off in the round already, and the enemy team have called that out, they will probably see something like that. But something like on this doorway, where as they come in, they got multiple areas to worry about. Whereas with this one, if you come in, there's not really too much to worry about. You don't have to look that way. You just have to focus here. So it's very easy for the attackers just to like check the corners before they come in here. However, when pushing from this side, they got to worry about left, they got to worry about right, and hopefully they will forget about any Kapkan traps you place on this doorway. But other than that, if you have any other Kapkan traps, just put them around the objective. The objective ones always seem to eventually go off for most people, especially when it's coming towards the end of the round as well. A lot of people just don't have enough time to check for Kapkans and just risk it and full send it through a doorway. But that is my tip for Lair, so let's move over to the next map, Emerald Plains. So here we are on the next map, Emerald Plains. We're going to be doing the CEO and admin bomb site. Now the first thing I like to do when I play on Emerald Plains, this is like first few rounds. If you've been playing Kapkan and they are kind of expecting a Kapkan, I wouldn't do this. But what I would do is just chuck 1 or 2 on this doorway. Attackers always seem to funnel through this doorway when I play on Emerald Plains. So sticking 1 or 2 there on the first few rounds of you playing Kapkan is probably going to lead to you getting a few free kills. But let's just say in a situation where you've already played a few rounds, you've brought Kapkan 1 or a few times already, and they're probably going to expect them, this is where I would put them. So the first doorway is this one. You can put 1 or 2 here and it will catch a few people out, because when attackers come this way, they have so many different angles to worry about that they don't really want to check down here, because they're going to have to either get it from here and then peek over here, or if they're swinging it and they've got to worry about a gunfight, maybe there's a rotate opened up in this wall as well. They've got a few angles to worry about, and hopefully they'll just walk in and detonate that one there. Similarly as well, sometimes they like to target this wall here, which is an exterior wall which leads to outside. If they manage to get through here, if you can stick one here, a sneaky little one on the inside of this, and you maybe even leave this like unreinforced, it can definitely bait a few people into opening that up and funneling through this double doorway here and getting a free knock, or at least some free damage. Coming into CEO, I wouldn't recommend putting any on this doorway because it can easily be seen and shot from the safety of outside that window there. So it's really not a good one. If you are going to put one on this side of the map, I wouldn't recommend putting it anywhere near that double doorway. I'd probably rather recommend putting it like here or here, so that if an attacker is trying to push this way and then they want to rotate around, they're going to come through this way and sprint straight through this doorway, because it's far enough from the objective that hopefully it will catch them off guard and hopefully deal enough damage. And then once again, if they're attacking through this way, hopefully they won't check these corners. I would prefer to put it on this side, because as an attacker, if you're coming from this way, you'll be able to see this and not have to worry about it. whereas if you've swung and you now can see it, you also once again have these lines of sight to worry about, and if you swing around this corner, hopefully you can get some more damage off. If you have any spare ones, once again, sticking them in the middle of the objective always seems to help late game. If they manage to take site control and they've planted or something like that, they can probably run through any of these doorways and take some damage, and it could give you a free round win. But that is it. That is how I set up for this bomb site on Emerald Plains. Let's move over to the next map, Oregon. So here we are on Oregon, arguably the most popular ranked map in Rainbow Six Siege. Everyone likes playing on Oregon and it is very rarely banned, so you get this map more times than not. And there is a few common Kapkan spots which you really need to start taking advantage of. First things first, as everyone knows, as a defender, keeping this wall reinforced is absolutely crucial. And what you can do is obviously put Kaids, bandits and stuff like that, and hard breaches will come in here, they'll throw EMPs and they'll try and hard breach this wall so they have another attacking route for this bomb site. Now a cheeky little thing you can do here is stick some Kapkans in this little corner. Now this has got a little bit more common, so it is quite likely to get droned nowadays because of how common this strat has become, but you can still trick some people with this, and some people just won't check it, or they'll forget, or once again it'll become so late in the round that they won't really have time, and then what they'll do is they'll just come in here to open this wall up, and that will pop. And hopefully, if you've got two, or once again, you can put a third one on here to get those 3 armor instantly. And then you should be able to get yourself a free kill. Hopefully, it's the person with the hard breach or the hard breach devices, so that they will no longer be able to open up this wall. Another one I like to do is just to put one on this wall. Because once again, when people come up these stairs, I say this in almost every single one of these maps, but when they come swinging around this corner, if they have lines of sight to worry about, they are less likely to check these little corners. So if you stick 1 or 2 here, once again, what happens is hopefully they're rushing in here trying to plant. Hopefully they got their sights up, and when you got your sights up, you don't really have a chance to see these. So hopefully that can get you a few free kills once again, but it all depends on if it gets droned. And with the final one, I wouldn't recommend putting on this door because it's such a common spot. I wouldn't recommend putting it here because a lot of attackers sit in this room and they'll just be able to shoot it here like this and then push in. I guess you can put it there, but it is vulnerable from the window. But what I would rather do is just stick one in here. Now this can very easily be countered. For example, if they do push in through the attic, it's going to be a very easy one to just shoot and not you know, die to. But I feel like it's more common for attackers to push in through this way, and if there isn't any Kapkans here, they're going to swing straight in here, and instead of going through this area where they have to worry about, you know, lots of different angles, what a lot of people like to do as an attacker is come straight through attic and through the rotate that is normally here. And once again, if you have one there, even if it's just one, it will deal some damage, probably throw them off, and hopefully it will give you one, the sound cue, but also the health advantage when taking this gunfight. That is how I like to set up on Kids and Dorm Main Hall on Oregon. Let's move over to the next map, which is Nighthaven Labs. So here we are on Nighthaven Labs. Unfortunately, 3 of the maps featured in this video, Lair, Emerald, and Nighthaven Labs, are some of the most banned maps in ranked, so you probably won't get these maps too often, but on Nighthaven Labs, Kapkan can actually be very, very good on almost every single one of the bomb sites. But here we're starting off in the server and the command center objective, and most of Kapkan's traps for this objective are going to go just outside of the bomb site. So starting off, coming over here, we can either stick some Kapkans here, or we could even stick some on the main doorway. Now this can easily be shot, but once again, if they do swing in here, it is a free amount of damage done to the enemy team. If you stick it slightly earlier, say on this doorway, and then you put a barricade here, what will most likely happen is they will break this, or they'll use a breach charge on it, and then when they run through, they will deal some damage to themselves. What I would do is, until they add the new bashing through doorways mechanic, probably place them a little bit higher. I'd put them in the middle so that if they vault through that barricade, it will still detonate and deal damage to them. But moving on over to our next Kapkan traps, this doorway over here is absolutely essential, and then any extra ones that you have or haven't placed yet can go on this area of the map. Now what I like to do is stick 2 here minimum every single time I play on this bomb site, because any 1 or 2 armor operators are going to die instantly as soon as they come swinging through here. And once again, because they got lots of different angles to worry about, when they swing and try and get an angle on this gunfight here, it's just going to detonate immediately and pretty much kill most of them instantly. You can push them further back, but I feel like they're less effective. And if they jump through this window, which is actually surprisingly common, then they can just shoot that as well. And hopefully that is not the case. And then, as I said, with any extra ones, sticking them in this corner is not going to be good because they can just shoot it from here. Sticking it here is okay if you manage to keep this breach from opening, but if they do get in from the breach, they're just going to be able to see it from here and shoot it, and they don't really have to worry about any lines of sight, so it's just going to be a pretty easy one for the attackers to destroy. And another cheeky spot you can put it is just right here, because even though if they do come in through catwalk, they can't easily see it, I don't think they check it as much. If anything, it's not going to be one that they check for, it's going to be one that they find on a drone. But as I said, this is always just a backup plan. You can always put like a few in the middle of the map as well, just in case they do gain access to the bomb site. But that's how I would set up on this objective. Let's move over to a more popular map now, Chalet. So here we are on Chalet. We are doing the master bedroom and office objective. On this map specifically for the basement objective, I actually wouldn't play Kapkan because the default plant isn't actually great on that basement objective, and more times than not, you probably won't actually get any Kapkan detonations off unless you're hiding them away from the objective, which you can just do when any bomb site is available. But to start off with this setup, the first thing we're going to do is reinforce this doorway a little bit, because I swear every attacker only comes through this doorway when I play on this objective. It's actually kind of annoying how often this doorway gets used. So if you don't put 1 or 2 here, yes, it's probably going to get droned. But if someone does a rush early game, you can get an Amaru up here or through the window or whatever, and they will try and plant just behind that bookcase there, or sometimes they like to plant here. But in general, most times attackers will either use this doorway against you or push into this room from that doorway. So make sure you Kapkan that doorway. It is very, very crucial. As for other Kapkans though, this spot is always good. If they come in through this way, come in through library or up through any of the windows in that room, they will come in here and they got to worry about lots of different angles. They'll check behind the piano, and when you've got your sights up already over here and over there, you're not going to be checking for Kapkans, and hopefully you'll get some detonations off. So you can put 1 or 2 here as well, but you are going to want to save some extra Kapkans for this side of the map. Now, don't be putting any Kapkans on windows. I don't know if you guys realize, but whenever you put a Kapkan on a window, it never gets detonated for me. I don't know what it is, but if you are going to put Kapkans on this side of the map, if you stick at this side of the doorway, 1 or 2 here, it's probably your best bet, because if they come in through this way, they're probably not going to be checking in there. If anything, they'll be checking this doorway, and then it'll be detonated by then anyway. And I'm pretty sure it is safe from that window unless they go upside down looking for it. But most attackers, when they come up here, they'll probably check this angle, maybe check the long angle here, but they will push in through this way. And what you can do is hide 1 or 2 on this corner here, and this one is another one that actually gets me quite a lot of kills. The only downside is from this window you can see the top one, but if you hide one at the bottom, even if they shoot that top one, that second one is still going to be there, and unless they jump in through the window and then shoot the second one, they're not even going to know it's there, and hopefully you will at least get some damage off when they eventually push up through this way to gain master bathroom control. And the final thing I want to add, if you do have any spares, even after doing this one here, the one over in that room and the one on this doorway, if you stick some here, this is one that will also catch a few people off guard. If they come in through that window, they are still vulnerable to this one here. So even if that one doesn't detonate, or you don't even put one there and you put it here instead, these 2 doorways are quite good for a Kapkan trap. But that's been it for this map. Let's move over to the 6th and final map of this video, Clubhouse. So here we are on Clubhouse. For Kapkan, I'd argue the best objective for this is the gym and bedroom objective, because putting them on doorways like this are going to be like just great for you. If you hide a Kapkan trap or 2 on this doorway, this one always seems to get detonations off because people just simply do not have enough time to check this angle, because you're leaving yourself so exposed to the actual bomb site that they don't really have time to check it unless they have like a twitch or they're throwing a frag grenade or something like that to destroy this. Similarly, you can come over here, you can stick some on this this doorway here, but I think it is vulnerable to the window, so that one is a miss if you want to. Sticking them on this doorway can also be crucial. Make sure you have this wall reinforced though, because any soft breaches or hard breaches or whatever will open up this wall if you leave it unreinforced. But sticking 1 or 2 on this doorway is another one that can always get you a free kill. And if you're playing in this bomb site as well, CCTV and cash, putting them on the opposite side of here, so right here, is also another good option. But as I said, I think this objective is probably the best one for Kapkan. This one isn't too great because most times they'll try and open this up, they'll jump in through this window, or they'll just come up through this way, and there's not really anywhere you can utilize a Kapkan trap from. So this objective is probably the best. You can even push back these Kapkan traps to this doorway as well, but the thing is, if you push it this far back, it's kind of reliant on someone coming in through this way, but it can work pretty well. Now with that being said, if you do have any spare Kapkan traps, you can actually put a sneaky one on this doorway. Not a lot of people will check it, but once again, it's an area of the map not a lot of attackers will push through, but what you can do is stick some on this doorway here. Now it is vulnerable from the window, so you got to think about it like that. So this is kind of like a last resort kind of thing, but if you think about it, out of all the routes that the attackers have to push through now, this is the only route that they can get straight onto a bomb site without having to go through a Kapkan trap or jumping through a window, which is putting yourself at a disadvantage enough. But either way, that is how I would set up on Clubhouse, and that is the end of this video. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions, any criticism or other spots, let me know down in the comments. If you want more videos like this, leave a like, subscribe, click the video on screen for part 1, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Goodbye.